today's video is going to be very interesting. I'll be telling you every single thing you need to know about apartments or houses that gives you up to 2 years to pay up. Now, I know a number of you have seen a property I am currently selling, and I told you you can pay in 2 years, and you're wondering, this is amazing, I can do this, I can own my home finally and pay in 2 years. Calm down. There's so much more than what meets the eye. So I'm putting out this video to educate you on every single thing you need to know about such apartments that gives you up to 2 years to pay. So that Hi, Madam Landlady here. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome to the family. Please do subscribe, and I promise you that on this channel I'll share tips with you that would help you grow your net worth through profitable investments in real estate. And if you are part of the family already, welcome back. So today's video is going to be very interesting. I'll be telling you every single thing you need to know about apartments or houses that gives you up to 2 years to pay up. Now, I know a number of you have seen a property I am currently selling, and I told you you can pay in 2 years, and you're wondering, this is amazing, I can do this, I can own my home finally and pay in 2 years. Calm down. There's so much more than what meets the eye. So I'm putting out this video to educate you on every single thing you need to know about such apartments that gives you up to 2 years to pay, so that if you subscribe for one of them, you know what you are signing up for. Right? So let's do this. In the housing market, there are two different categories. We have the fully built category and we have the off-plan category. Now, fully built houses are the kind of houses that are completely built already. You just pay your money and you can move into your house the very next day. But off-plan categories, these are the kind of houses that gives you up to 2 years to pay. Why? Because they are not completely built yet. We tell you, as you pay, as you make your deposits monthly, we are developing for you. And after you are done paying, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 1 year, depending on how many months you subscribe, that is when your house will be complete and you can then move in. So can you see the differences in the both categories, the fully built and the off plans? So these apartments that gives you up to 2 years to pay up, they are in the off plan category. Now I'll share with you a number of the things you need to know before you subscribe for an off plan property. First of all, off plans have been the trend since 2020. Since after COVID-19, people have subscribed more for off plan houses. Why? Because they are more cost effective for you. And then a lot of developers discovered that when we build houses, they could stay in the market for a very long time, because customers could come and say, oh, I don't like the kitchen, I don't like the bathroom, I don't like the room. You know, it's not always 100% perfect for people who want to subscribe. So we now decided that instead of building a house and leaving it in the market for a very long time, we can do off plans. Or before you buy it, you're going to see the design, look at the eventual outcome of the house, then you now decide if it's something you really want to go for, or if you want to make changes here and there. So that's the reason why a lot of developers begun to do a lot of more off-plan houses than the fully built houses. So let me tell you a number of things you need to know before you subscribe for an off-plan property. Number one, the most important thing you need to know before you subscribe for an off-plan property, a property that gives you up to 2 years to pay up, look at your income. Because for every single month in that 2 years, you are required to remit a certain amount of money. Now let me give you a very relatable instance. I have a client who subscribed for one of our apartments, and for every single month, after making the initial deposit, every single month he had to pay 1.4 million naira every month for the next 2 years. So you have to look at the property that you want to subscribe for, the total costs of the property, and then how much you have to pay monthly for the next 2 years. So by the time you know how much you want to pay monthly, you now look at your income to be sure that it's easy for you to pull out such amount of money every single month. I've had clients who say, oh, this is way above my income. Never make a budget for a property that is way above how much that you earn. I just said that again. Never make a budget for a property that is way above how much you earn, either monthly or annually. So by the time you look at the cost of this property, you break it down, divided by 24 months, you now know how much you have to pay monthly. So it's now left for you to decide, can I pull out this cash every single month for the next 2 years? Is your income stable? You just look at your income level. It's all up to you. So if it's not something you can do, you don't develop high blood pressure in the process, because a number of developers, if you default in your payment, there's a default charge. So you don't want to subscribe for a property and then you default somewhere along the line. So it's very, very important for you to look at your income. Your income will help you make a budget for a property that you can easily pull out funds to afford. All right, now that's the number one thing. I can't even overemphasize this. It's very, very important. Look at your income and make an appropriate budget that suits your income. Now, the next thing you want to know before you subscribe for a property that gives you up to 2 years to pay up is there is an additional percentage if you are paying in 2 years. So, for example, you want to buy a property on outright. You're going to pay immediately. We may tell you, okay, the 2-bedroom is 37 million, for example. Let me use an instance that is relatable. There's an apartment we have currently in Ajashon, Gotedo, 2-bedroom apartment, currently selling for 37.8 million if you are paying outrightly in 3 months. But if you decide to go for the 2 years payment plan, you are paying 41.8 million. That's an additional 3 million naira, if I'm not mistaken. 3 million naira additional, or 4 million. You do the maths. 37.8 million naira in outright payment, and if you are paying in 2 years, you are paying 41.8 million naira. Can you see the difference? So if you are paying in 2 years, you cannot be paying the same amount for somebody who is paying outrightly. So these are the questions you may even want to ask your realtor. Oh, I want to pay in 2 years, or I want to pay in 1 year, I want to pay in 6 months. What are the additional charges? Because more often than not, there is always a percentage added if you are paying on installment. Do not expect to pay at the same price for those who are paying outrightly. There's always a difference. So you want to look at all that cost and be sure that you are making the wise investment decision, and be sure that it's something you can afford to pay every single month. All right, now that's number 2. Now moving on, the third thing you want to look out for before investing in an off-plan property, the developer. Who are the developers of this property? Because 2 years is a long time to invest money in a company or with a developer that is not credible. You are investing so much money. Right now, the cheapest apartment you can get in Lagos is in Ekpe, and it's currently selling for about 16.5 million naira. 16.5 million naira is way too much to invest with a developer who does not have a track record of delivering on his promises. So you want to be sure that this developer is credible. You want to be sure that the developer you are investing with has a track record of delivering. You want to look at what have they done before. What kind of houses have they delivered before? Okay, you need to even come on an inspection to see what they are doing, to be sure that they are not cutting corners. Because a lot of developers, with the way the prices of raw materials are increasing by the day, it may get to a point that developers may begin to cut corners. Do you understand? So you need to be sure that this developer has integrity. You need to be sure that you are not investing with the wrong people, because you're investing so much money for the next 2 years or 1 year, depending on how many months you subscribe for. You cannot afford to be in the wrong hands. So please ensure that this developer is credible and they have a track record. See the projects that they have delivered on. You must see the previous projects that this developer that you are about to work with have delivered on, and be sure that they don't cut corners. Very, very important. Moving on, the next thing you want to look at before subscribing for this kind of apartment, especially if you are buying so that you can finally retire to your own house, you need to look at the neighborhood. You need to look at the amenities around the neighborhood, the security around the neighborhood, and how accessible is this neighborhood. You don't want to live in an apartment or in your house and it becomes a living hell for you. Your house should be a safe haven for you and not the other way around. So you want to be sure that this neighborhood is where you want to live in. You don't want to buy a house and the next 6 months to 1 year you are thinking of reselling because the environment is not conducive for you. No, you want to live in a place where you can retire to 10 years, 20 years. You are so happy living there. You are fulfilled living there. Not where you buy and the next day you want to run away. Or when you go to work, coming back in the evening, you're like, oh my God, do I have to go back to this house again? It doesn't have to be that way. So look at the neighborhood. Look at the amenities. What's around the neighborhood? How easy, if you are a parent with children, you need to be sure that there are good schools around there. Be sure that there are basic amenities like a gym, cafes, restaurants, shopping malls. Think about everything that you need that makes living convenient for you. Think about those things and make sure that all of those things are within the neighborhood. All right, and then also in the estate itself, now ensure that the developer is not only giving you the house, 3-bedroom apartment or 3-bedroom duplex. Ensure that there are basic amenities there that will make living convenient for you, and much more important, it will increase the value of your property. So that's very, very important. Now, moving on, I talked about a structural engineer. Now, it's important to test the physical integrity of this building because of risk of collapse. Very, very important. That is why I emphasized on working with a developer who has integrity. If the developer has a track record of delivering on their promises and you have seen the past projects and they are okay, there's been no negative occurrence, then you can go ahead and develop with them. You don't even need to employ a structural engineer. Now, another very interesting benefit of subscribing for off plans that I always recommend is that they are very cost effective. For example, if you want to buy a 3-bedroom duplex with a BQ in the fully built up market, let's say somewhere around Lagos Island, in the fully built up market, it may be selling for around 75 million or 80 million naira. But if you want to buy in the off-plan market, the same 3-bedroom duplex with a BQ will be selling for 55 million or 60 million. So can you see the difference? So if you really want to own an apartment right now and you have some time to spare, I always recommend you go for the off-plan categories because you're making instant returns on your investment. Because if you subscribe for the off-plans and you want to resell your property after it has been completed, you are going to be reselling for the exact market price. So you're making almost instant returns on investment compared to when but if you are in a hurry, you want to move in immediately into your house, fine, you can go for the fully built up category. But if you have some time to spare, I always recommend that you go for off-plan project. And for a number of benefits, it's cost effective. You're working with a good developer, so you're very sure of what you are getting at the end of the day. You're also part of the building process, meaning that you have an opportunity to change the design, to change one or two things in the apartment here and there. So it's actually very, very beautiful to subscribe for off plans if you have some time and you really like the idea, the developer and the design as well. Okay, so rounding up this video, the last thing I'm going to tell you before you subscribe for the off plan properties, ensure property security. Ensure property security. This involves the kind of developer you're working with. I mentioned this before. Be very, very sure that there have been no risk of collapse. There have been no records of collapse whatsoever in the past. So that's why I said ensure you are working with a developer that does not cut corners, a developer that is credible, that has integrity. So be sure of their past track record so that you don't develop a house and in the next 5 to 10 years you are hearing there are risk of collapse, we may have to demolish. And also in case of property security, it also involves the title documents on the property. Houses that we are developing in my company, we always have either a governor's consent or we have a COO. It's very, very important. So to ensure property security, check the kind of documents that this developer has. Also look out for the building approval. Be sure that they have a building approval. Be sure they have legal title documents for ownership of that parcel of land and the building as well, so that you don't fall victim to circumstance. Okay, you don't want a case where in the future you lose your property, you lose the millions of naira you've invested. It's never a good experience at all. So with everything I have mentioned, I really hope that you have learned something from this video. I really hope that this video was worth your time. I hope you took down notes so that whenever you're looking to invest in an off-plan property, you know exactly what you are signing up for. And that is the purpose I am doing this video, so that you are building your network. I told you the reason why I did that, I am on this channel, why I make these videos for you, is to help you grow your net worth through profitable investments in real estate and not losing your money through real estate. Okay, so please look out for these things. And of course, I'm not called Madam Landlady for nothing. If you need to own an apartment, either a land or a house anywhere in Lagos, Nigeria, do well to reach out to me and I will help you through the whole process to be sure that your investment is safe and it is helping you fulfill your highest housing desire. Thank you so much for watching to this point. Also, do well to subscribe so that you get notified when the next when I put out another video like this. And also do want to share this video to your friends, your family, so that they get to learn as well. And also, if you have learned something, please drop a comment for me in the comment section. See you next time. Thank you.